Hello and welcome to Back to Basics with Sandra and Lyndall. Today we have a very special guest, Tyson the Trainer. Now, Tyson was on our podcast 12 months ago, almost to the day, which is pretty crazy. So welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
What's been happening the last 12 months?
Well, as I was saying to you guys, I've been growing the mullet. That's been probably the biggest thing to focus on. No, but apart from that, what's been happening? Still doing the nutrition stuff and started a meal prep company.
Wow.
So that's been cool. So in the last 6 months, we've got a commercial kitchen in Arncliffe, doing it out of that. So realising how hard it is to actually cook properly for people.
Yeah.
So, but
Has this been a goal of yours for like a long time?
No, we pulled it out of nothing kind of last year. So our friend was doing it for his fighters because he had boxing clients. And then he's like, maybe we could, do you want to put something together? And I was like, yeah, why not? Something different. So it was kind of just on a whim. And then we've just put ourselves into this position.
But that's really nutrition and meals and, meal prep and talking about food has really been your identity through everything.
It's pretty complimentary,
Yeah.
And I think it was there's always been a gap in the market. When you look at the meal prep companies out there, it's kind of a joke, Yes. And I was also like, we can really take another angle on this that's going to be quite good. So it's been challenging, but at the same time, it's going to be very beneficial for a lot of people.
Which kind of really brings us to the topic of what we're discussing today, which is, food, nutrition, goal setting, especially being the start of the year.
Yep.
Do you think there is a one size fits all approach to, nutrition, food, training, all of the things?
Absolutely not. It's kind of like training. Everyone's going to find different programming or training styles they like. And it's the same thing with nutrition. You can't fit a circle into a square hole, right? At the end of the day, for me, when I talk to people, it's trying to find out what is going to match their personality because every diet works. People bang on about carnivore, paleo, keto, all those type of things. And you see people getting results, but it's because it's found what works for them.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm like, bro, you're going to cut out carbs? Just kill me now.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking doing that. But other people are I'd love to eat meat every, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
High fat and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because some people, they're more satiated with higher fat. Some people are more satiated with higher carbs. I prefer flexibility, which is why I track my food, but everyone's going to be different. So, everyone's like, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this. And it's just take a little bit of time to look at what the diet is and then think about, is that going to work with your lifestyle? I think people want to jump into things so quickly and this is the answer, where it's there's heaps of ways to get there. You just got to think about what's going to work for you because there's no point being miserable trying to do keto if I love carbohydrates. Just like I said, just end me. I'm done,
And don't copy people. So I think people just go what's trending or what's working for someone. So someone could have massive weight loss results with intermittent fasting or something. But that won't work. I love breakfast.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than waking up and being starving
Yeah.
for the first half of the day.
Yeah.
What a fucking way to start
I'm
the day.
super crabby.
Right. And not having milk in your coffee, that sort of thing. Right.
Yeah. Or again, people take it too far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's not the milk in your coffee that's going to cause the issue, People are like, will this break my fast?
It's that whole bag of nuts that you just have as a snack.
Yeah, exactly. the milk in my coffee. I'm like, there's bigger things.
But speaking of trends, what are your thoughts on the drug Ozempic?
Yeah.
That's become really popular with celebrities and,
Yeah. So funnily enough, Ozempic isn't actually a weight loss drug. It's a diabetic drug, right? Semaglutide, which is the ingredient, is now product. It's another product that's targeted towards weight loss. But I've had clients that have dealt with it before and used it, whereas I'm not the one advocating it. If they decide, I want to get it. But it's firstly, you're taking away from diabetics, people who actually need this, because it lowers blood sugar. And if you have high blood sugar, you can die, you can lose limbs and stuff like that. And same thing if you have too low blood sugar. So with semaglutide, it works for diabetics to help keep their blood sugar in a good range. Whereas now there's been shortages in Australia because they're being prescribed to people.
My friend's mum was suffering because she didn't have access to it.
Right.
Sold out.
Yeah, it actually blows my mind because doctors are prescribing this to people because people are like, it's a lose weight fast drug. People are always looking for the fastest option. And it's you can get results with it for sure, but that comes at a cost, You're not learning behaviors to keep it off. It's still a cost out of your pocket. And people also lose muscle mass with it because when you take it, it makes people feel nauseous and sick when they first take it because you've got to escalate the dose. You start at a small dose and then every 2 weeks you've got to escalate it because if you do too much, people get really sick from it. It makes them feel nauseous.
Sounds amazing.
But when they look at food, there's no excitement with food, right?
Right.
So because of that, they can just kind of not eat at all. And if people aren't eating, of course, they're going to lose weight. But along with that, if they're not eating enough protein or they're not eating just enough nutrients, they're going to lose muscle.
Yeah.
So when they've done studies, it's like a 50-50 loss of muscle and fat. And I'm like,
wow.
do you want to look like, unfortunately, do you want to look like a gaunt person? Or do you want to,
You can see the people that do the fast weight loss tricks and stuff because they actually lose their shape. And a lot of women, like I say to them, you've lost, like, all right, you've lost the weight, but you actually have lost what makes you, like the curves and the beautiful, like, physique.
Yeah.
Because they lose a lot of muscle with it. And they've got that soft skin, right?
It's
and then
like
they're
no
like,
tone,
and they're so unhappy with the way they look now.
That experience, like, you know, when I go out to eat, like the experience of going out 100%. And, you know, eating and, you know, like that's what I love about it. You know, like I feel like I wouldn't like to lose that.
Right.
I love eating.
If I like looked at food and it's just like something there, that would make me so sad. You know?
And you
like there's no like,
it.
there's no excitement for it. Or again, you're like, oh, this actually makes me feel sick. Like I love food. Don't ever take it away.
Yeah,
from me,
honestly.
So do you feel like people can be like, you know, quote unquote healthy whilst following like a specific, like, you know, they're vegan or they're carnivore or they're keto? Like or is it, you know, they have to be balanced? Like what's your thoughts?
Because surely you'd be missing nutrients if you're just sticking to one kind of diet.
Yes and no. Like I used to be like, no, you've got to have balance, you know, at the end of the day. But there are people who are successfully doing keto, carnivore, all those type of things, and it's working for them. You know, they're getting their blood tests regularly, they're checking those things. So be an educated person if you're going to do it. Like don't just blindly follow a diet. It's kind of like it's the same things when guys take steroids or girls take steroids, and it's like they don't know what they're putting in their body and they're not looking at like results where, you know, they can have liver failure, they can have blood issues. Like people just kind of go through things blindly. Whereas if they're like, oh, I'm going to be a vegan, it's like, okay, why don't you do some blood tests to see, are you deficient in iron? Are you deficient in B12? If you're going to be a carnivore, like, you know, go and do your blood, whatever you're going to do blood tests regularly, which whether you're doing a diet or not, you should be. Like I'm a big advocate of doing blood tests twice a year.
Yeah.
At the start of the year and I would say middle of the year or like start, middle, end type of thing. Because like, you know, you get your car checked, you got to go get it serviced, you got to do the same thing. And you can actually see, do you have micronutrient deficiencies? And if you do, you can adjust it.
Yeah.
But even on a balanced diet, like females are going to be low in iron for some time. So things they've got to look for anyways. So I think any diet you follow, you've just got to be informed a little bit more.
Yeah. Do you think too many people focus on like the weight loss aspect of like changing their nutrition rather than the health benefits?
100%.
Yeah.
People say they're health focused, but like even for me being a coach, a lot of people come to me health focused, but if they don't see the quick weight loss, they get frustrated and they're like, oh, well then what's the point? I'm like, you're the one that told me you're health focused and you're not,
but it's also about like what your definition of healthy is.
Exactly.
Like everyone's going to be different.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's getting to the bottom of that is really important. And actually, you know, if you are wanting to go on this journey, like what is healthy to you?
Yeah.
And actually questioning that.
I think people don't know the answer to that either.
No.
You need to ask them and they're like, oh.
Well, everyone will give you a different answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they'll just come up with something and you're like, is that your actual, like, is that what you think healthy is?
Yeah.
So I think, people should take some time to actually think about what is healthy.
But I don't think there's anything wrong either. Like, you know, for people like, you know, being healthy might be like, oh, I'm not drinking 7 days a week, but I'm drinking 3 days a week.
100%.
And that might be healthy for them.
Yep.
And that's okay, depending on how much they drink. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, everyone's definition is going to be different.
So what do you think of the health, like those general health markers? Like we say blood work, of course, is really important. What are some other ways that people, if they're not really, haven't had that experience in the industry, what would you say are some of those things that they can look out for if they're just getting started this time of year, especially if they want to kick off a health journey?
Like pay attention to your body, right?
Yeah.
So like deficiencies can show up, like, you know, losing hair, having low energy, fingernails breaking, stuff like that. If you're someone who's continuously getting injured or breaking a bone, you could be low in calcium, you know, or vitamin D. Which again is a good thing when you get a blood test, it'll tell you that stuff. But just even pay attention. Like if you start grabbing clumps of hair out, there's an issue, you know? So I would say like that's a huge thing because a lot of people aren't even like self-aware of what's going on inside of them. So I think just like, you know, things like this, I'm like, oh, like for me, the first time actually using skincare and stuff like that, because then she's like, you should start taking care of your face. I'm like, oh, nah, just wash it with some water.
Oh my God, it's like my last nightmare.
Soap guy.
So now I'm like paying attention to it, right? I'm like, oh, actually.
Is it like change your life?
A little bit, yeah. Now it's just made me more like more upset about what's going on. I'm like, I'm getting old. No, but like I think just paying attention is a huge benefit for people too, you know?
Yeah.
And then also realizing when you're on this health journey, what things actually are improving that's not just weight loss. Everyone's so focused on the scale, you know. But I love like when clients text me, I just ran up a flight of stairs and I'm not out of breath. I'm like, fuck your oath. Like that's what I'm happy to hear. So I think a lot of like day-to-day life things that you'll notice get easier, carrying stuff, putting things up on shelves. These little things that we may not pay attention to are huge differences, you know? Like life getting easier. Like I think about just having some strength and having some health, how much, again, like you see a lot of people struggling when you're walking around, like whether they're older and they haven't taken care of themselves because they're in walkers and stuff like that. Like I'm like, I don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
So for me, like it's almost a longevity point of view.
And I think it's like giving yourself credit for those things as well, because I know sometimes I used to talk to my clients, I'd be like, oh, you know, you just did that set of 10 squats and it was so easy. Like I think we can go up in weight. And they're like, yeah, but like I haven't lost that 5 kilos that I wanted to lose. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, this is a good thing. Like we're, you know, progressing, but they don't see it as progress in terms of the goals that they want to achieve.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
one of my clients in her feedback form for one of the programs that she did, she said her how she knew she was improving was she started the lawnmower.
Oh yeah.
So she was like tough enough to pull it and whatever. She was like, that was a massive thing for her. She's like, I know it's working.
And you have to recognize it.
Yeah. And celebrate the small things like that, or being able to carry your kid and a bag of groceries and walk the whole shopping centre. Like that stuff for me is important, you know.
No 2 trips, 1 trip.
Yeah, one trip
every time.
Yeah.
And I'm up 3 flights of stairs as well. So I'm like this. It's the worst when somebody stops you in the middle of the stairwell to have a chat though, and I'm like red and sweating.
I get to the front door and I kick it, and I'm like, my husband's like, why don't you just take half the groceries? I'm like,
no, never.
No.
Yeah. I say I'm no 2 trip bitch. It's 1 trip, you know.
100%. 100%.
But like things like that,
off.
like I think are huge. And again, people don't give themselves as much recognition or pats on the back because they look at other people online like, I've got to be like this person. And it's like, man, you have 3 kids, you know, you work a 50-hour week, you know, you've got all these other things to do. If you make a small improvement, you've got to pat yourself on the back for that. I think that's what a lot of people just struggle with because, again, they're always that comparison. You know, it's like you got to look at yourself with who you were compared to where you are now. And people get so stuck on the day-to-day, like, I'm not seeing the weight loss, I'm not seeing this. And it's like, let's look where you were 6 months ago, you know? You didn't even go to the gym once a week. Now you're going 3 times a week. Now you're sleeping 8 hours, right? Just little things like that.
Do you feel like, you know, people's expectations these days are a little bit more realistic just because there's so much education and, you know, knowledge out there than it used to be, or do you feel like you still have to really sit people down and set them?
Oh, no, I still have to sit people down.
Yeah, I would say that too. People are so caught up on the numbers.
Yeah.
So caught up on the numbers. And like you said, like people underestimate how much of an impact a couple of kilos, like, oh, I've only lost 2 kilos. And I'm like, do you know how much 2 kilos of fat actually is? Like even for me, losing 5 kilos, I could run faster, run longer distances. Like it actually makes a massive impact. So that might be like your mini goal. And then like, but think of how it's affecting all these other parts of your body, your sex life, your like confidence, your, you know, your ability to like go into a shop and buy clothes like without thinking about it, that sort of thing. So,
well, your weight hasn't changed. Like, oh, but I fit in new clothes. But they're upset about the weight. It's like, so, and if I said, if you looked the way you want to look, or if you fit into this size clothes, would you still be focused on the weight? Most people are like, no, it's exactly. So it's not actually about scale. It's your perception of how you want to look, but you're tying that to a number on the scale.
Yeah,
and
it's the relationship. Yeah, that they've got messed up.
I mean, I went through that definitely. Like I had this, I was fixated on the number 60. I'm like 80.
Oh my God.
60?
Yeah. But, and I know, like I got there.
I got married at 58 kilos.
And what do you know?
Yeah, 80.
Yeah. I did get there. This would have been 10 years ago. But like I was
we were training together 10 years ago.
How crazy is that? I was a bobblehead.
Were you that skinny? Yeah. I look at the photos now from my wedding and I'm like gaunt.
Yeah.
Like it was hollow. Like I was a skinny little Indian. And I'm like, you poor thing, girl. Indian. And my dress was swimming on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, did no one said anything to me?
Right.
And like I had like the bones and the collarbones.
You know, like we grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s where like everyone was skinny and that was just the thing.
Size 8 was the thing.
Yeah. Like, you know, getting a size 12 anything was just, it was actually really hard to buy. Like that was
Yes,
plus size
that was right at the back of the rack. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So this is the stuff we've gone through and I'm glad we did actually because we're so much better for right now.
Yeah, I think like again, you learn from what you go through, you know, and it helps you help other people avoid it. Same thing with me with my eating disorder. Like it's so funny because when people come to me and I know they're struggling with it, it's like in my head like, oh, I know exactly what you need to do because I've been there.
Yeah.
And you know the thoughts they have, you know the things they go through. So you're able to relate to that more and it's just easier for that person to go through the process. So that's why it's good to be a coach, you know, because you've especially if you've experienced something that the person's going through, you can help walk them through that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think are some of the like important things that people need to consider before diving into like a health or a nutrition journey, which a lot of people, you know, they always start the new year and that's one of their main goals. Like what are some things that they need to consider before diving straight in?
Or even like who they're diving in with.
Oh, do your education. You know, that's the hard. I think it's so hard because I say do your education, but like anyone can call themselves a nutritionist or an expert, and it's like, okay, well, that's a bit tough.
Especially in the online coaching world.
Yeah, and look, you know, back at Fitness First, we had our thing on the wall, but no one's gone up there and been like, oh yeah, Tyson had
no one ever asked me for my qualifications.
Exactly. All they look for really is the before and after.
Yeah.
So have a conversation with the coach first who you think you want to go with and see if you're actually going to gel with them. Do you like their style of training? Even ask them, hey, can I message, do you have any clients I can talk to? Because like I say, if people feel uncomfortable or they don't know if they want to commit with me, I'm like, hey, message some of my clients because then they can find out secondhand what my coaching is like versus me being like, oh, I'm a great coach, you know, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a great thing for people to do. And then also just be patient. Like it's 12 months, not 12 weeks, right? It's not even 12 months for the rest of your life. Like health and fitness isn't a trend that you'll do, then you'll be fit and then you just kind of, you can go back to doing what you're doing. Like you got to make this a part of your lifestyle. So for me, I'm like, you got such a long time, just start with small things. Everyone's always so egotistical where they're like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. It's like, you've been going 0 times and you want to go 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
And like even for myself, trying to go 5 times a week, still being self-employed and having the time is still effort. So someone who's got a full-time job who wants to do that, it's like start smaller.
Yeah.
And the same thing is like dieting. Oh, I'm going to start a diet. It's like, why don't you just build up some good eating habits first? Because like by nature, if you're eating better, you're having more fruits and veggies, little things like that, you're going to manage your appetite better and you're probably just going to naturally eat less shit food overall and probably lose a little bit of weight along the way. So I would just say like, scale it back, you know, take the small steps you can do because to build a habit, it requires small effort. And the easier it is to stick to, the more likely you're going to do it. If I say to go to the gym once a week and you're like, yeah, that's easy. We haven't been doing that. So show me you can do once a week. After
it's about that consistency.
Yeah, right. And it's like, I would much rather clients go to the gym, let's say 3 times a week for 52 weeks of the year versus going 5 times for 20 weeks of the year. Like that's half your year you've missed.
Being realistic about what you can achieve. I think a lot of people just go, oh, I'm going to go all in. They have that mentality and then they fail and they're like, fuck, this isn't working. And they'll go to another coach or try another program.
Right. Yep.
But they don't realize how hard it is. Like it's fucking hard work.
Yeah.
People don't want to do effort, you know. It's like, oh, I can order Uber Eats in 5 minutes, but I don't want to spend the half an hour going to the gym or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
Or they have, or they think they have to do so much. Like, yeah, it's hard work, but it's like, again, go to the gym for 30 minutes first before you go for an hour and a half.
Well, because they try to change everything at once.
Exactly, you know.
And it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, so I think if you remove that overwhelm, then it's like you got to make it a no-brainer. I feel like, you know, with health and fitness and change, like change is fucking hard.
Yeah.
You need to make it a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like find a gym or, you know, whatever that is close to you that's not on the other side of fucking town. Like just, you know, make it fucking easy.
That's
like
on the way to work.
I don't really like cooking.
Yep.
So I'm not going to be out there like doing like, you know, a 10-step meal prep.
Yep.
Like for me, it's like, does it cook in my pan in 5 minutes? Cool.
Yeah.
You know, does it cook in my air fryer? Cool. Like that's how I meal prep because I fucking hate cooking.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to make it like as easy as possible. And if you make it as easy as possible, you're more likely to stick to it.
Yeah, 100%.
So what is your opinion on supplements and the supplement industry? Because I think we get marketed to so heavily in regards, and, you know, you mentioned quick fixes and all of that sort of stuff. Like what is your thoughts on, you know, taking supplements?
Supplements are, well, they're supplemental to your diet, you know? I think people forget that. They think like these are the magic pills. It's like, oh, I wasn't losing weight, but now I'm on creatine. Now creatine's my answer. I was like, yes, creatine is what you were missing, you know? Or it's actually, you know what, it's that $80 fat burner that you've got to have. Like that's
so expensive.
I can't believe it. I'm like, what is with this being so expensive?
And people take it and they think it's the magic pill. You're right.
Yeah, because like, well, doesn't it just increase like
your heart rate?
And make you sweat more.
It's just caffeine.
And then people like they feel an effect.
Yeah.
So they think it's working.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
One of the girls had her GP prescribe her Duromine. So I think
shit.
Yeah.
What?
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like,
amphetamine.
you're not losing weight as quick as you like. She was entering menopause. It's like, here, have Duromine. So she lost a lot of weight, but then she put it on just as quickly.
Doesn't that make you crazy?
It's speed.
It's speed.
Yeah.
Duromine. And again, so now I think that people are prescribing less and less Duromine. Now they're doing the Ozempic.
Yeah. It's
now
like whatever and the most annoying thing is it's so affordable, right? Like you buy Ozempic illegally, it's going to cost you $100 for a kit that'll last you a month.
What?
You go through a GP, it costs you like $35 a month or something, which is cheaper than protein powder, cheaper than fat burners.
Cheaper than a gym membership
exactly,
these days.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to effort. People don't want to do the effort where it's like, look, at some point in time, you're going to have to do that because anything that happens quickly or happens low effort, you're never able to keep it, It's like I didn't wake up one day, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fit. Like, fuck, that was great. Like, that's it. It takes your time.
But I find it really interesting, like the people that have tried all the things, they tried the different diets and the different coaches and the different programs and all the things. And, they haven't got that quick fix result that they're after, but they still get sucked into the, that type of marketing.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, this is going to work, or this is the next best thing. And,
this is the answer.
this is the answer. Like, this is the secret sauce that I'm missing. And then get disappointed when it's not.
Yeah.
I think
they're the ones that just buy every program.
If it's been more than 3 things, I would say,
Yeah.
whether it be 3 different diets, 3 different coaches, 3 different training programs,
You're the issue.
I
was going to say.
It's hard to say, but it's like fuck, you got to just take a step back.
It's so true.
And like one thing I say is like to change, you've got to change. Again, going back to the new year, everyone says, this year's my year. I'm going to do this. It's like, you do this every year and you don't stick with it. So it's like, just change it because what you're doing is not working. So it's like, again, do less, aim for less, do little bits of like,
I love, I think last year you were doing what's that? You were saying not bare minimum.
Oh, good enough. Doing the good enough. Yeah.
I love that. And a lot of your marketing, like I see your stories, is about just doing one thing today. Just do one thing, drink that water or do 50 push-ups or something to like maximum or whatever you were saying the other day. And I'm like, it's such a good thing to just do what you can with what you have like now.
Yep.
Don't try and I say this to a lot of mums that I work with is like, you've got kids at home, like, because they're all about starting a new thing in January. Like, your kids are still at home on school holidays. What do you think is going to happen? You're not, like, they're at home now depending on you and you think you're going to make this drastic change and sign up to a 28-day challenge somewhere and you're going to get results. No, you're actually going to put more pressure on yourself, like increase your stress levels. You're not going to make the change.
I think it's about being realistic. Like, it's being okay with what is realistic for you.
Yeah.
Like, for myself, like I know for me, I've gone from, being able to do workouts for an hour and a half a day. And now, with life changes and everything, sometimes it's 25 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 5 times a week, sometimes it's 2 times a week. And it's about going, okay, well, that's okay. Because it's better than nothing and everything's not going to fall to shit because I haven't trained today.
Right. Yeah.
And, if I'm going out for lunch and I eat a burger, it's fine. It's okay. It's not going to undo all of my progress, but I'm going to jump on the train again tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's
what I say to clients. On a Sunday, just look at what your week's like this week. Because like every week is going to be different.
Yes.
Again, you guys might have a more hectic week next week compared to the week after. Christmas time, I'm like, oh God, I look at my calendar, I'm like, okay, let's do this, But it's like, if you know what's going on the week ahead, just do a little bit of a plan.
Yeah.
I can't get my 5 workouts in. Can you get 2 workouts in? Sweet. It's like, you got to deal with what you can do with reality, right? There's no point beating yourself up that you can't do 5 workouts when you've got so many activities you've got to be doing, seeing people. So like meeting yourself with where you're at and having realistic expectations is probably the best thing you can do.
What I find people underestimate is the power of like walking and just neat, where you're just moving around all day, because people work a lot of office jobs, right? And they're sitting down the whole day and they think that 1 hour workout at the end of the day is the one thing that, because they didn't make that happen, that's why they're not getting results. But it's like, if you're sitting down and you're not going to like, I print paper just so I can get up and go to the printer.
Oh, yeah?
Like all the time, or go to the bathroom or go downstairs, walk around the block, come back upstairs, like park a bit further away so you've got those extra steps in. So people underestimate, I think, the power of just moving. So what are ways that people can incorporate, like I say stuff about the office, but what are some ways people can incorporate just
movement.
Yeah,
like
movement.
Lunch breaks, right?
Yeah.
Who's sitting down eating for an hour?
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
I walk around
mine's like
Westfield.
15
Mine's like
minutes.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah. So like get up and go for a walk.
I eat when I get back.
Yeah. And like I've actually got a lot of clients do that on their lunch break, just go out and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of them in Sydney work in the city. Like you got the bridge to walk over, you got some nice views, you know? So doing that, waking up in the morning before or after lunch, breakfast and dinner, going for a 5 or 10 minute walk. Because like if you can't do 20 minutes, I don't care. Can you do 10? Can you do 5? Because even a 5 minute walk, it adds up. All these little things add up over time. Parking further away, getting off one stop early, or like even when I'm waiting for the train, I'm one of those people. I just walk up and down the platform, and like people must be like, I've seen this guy like 3 times walking past me, but I'm like, what else am I going to do? Sit around and do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like anytime you can find 2 minutes, 5 minutes in the airport, you got to get there an hour early.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit down for an hour then to get on a plane for many hours.
I am at the bar.
Okay.
Because I'll leave Angie. She'll sit down. I'll go and do my thing. Because like I'll listen to a podcast or something. Just make it enjoyable. Which is like, again, if you got a good view, if you got friends to go with, like instead of just meeting up with a friend for coffee and sitting down, why don't you go for a walk? I always get my friends to go to Sydney Park. Be like, let's go to Sydney Park.
And they're like, fucking not this again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not meeting up with Tyson anymore. But like things like that, because it goes quicker too. When you're talking to a friend and you're walking around, you're like, oh shit, we just walked for an hour. So little things like that.
I think for parents as well, it's really important, like, because I take my kids for bike rides and stuff because I think it's really important for them to be active every single day. So I take them for scooter rides, bike rides. Parents are just lazy. Like at the end of the day, they're like, oh, I've just done 9 to 5. They don't want to do anything. But mate, do a service for your kids. Take them out. And then you're instilling those behaviors with them so that they get a bit like, if they don't get that exercise
pets as well. Like it's like my like pet hate when people have a dog or something.
This is how we compare.
I don't do kids. But people have dogs and
they don't take them out.
They don't take them out. They're just in the backyard all day.
Right.
And it like drives me insane.
I'm like a dog. I need to be walked, you know? Like get me out of the house. When it's like a rainy day, I'm like sitting down like sad in the house.
It is. Well, you've got what do you have? The air giant?
I got the assault bike.
Yeah, assault bike. Yeah.
So that's good. But I also got I got a treadmill at home if I want to use it anyways. But just like getting outside makes you feel good. You get some sun on you.
I actually bought a little like track pad, like walking pad when we were in COVID because I was like, fuck, if there's a rainy day and I can't get outside, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go insane. I needed to do stuff.
Yeah. Did you?
Bought a cross trainer.
Nice.
Yeah.
As you do. I can't get that up to level 3.
My husband. He had to do it. He had to build it. He had to build the bloody thing.
I can only imagine.
That's what husbands are for.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's what husbands are for. No, but it's about being aware because I know, you know, my circumstances have changed where I work at home a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I look, you know, at my phone and it's like 3 o'clock and I've done 500 steps.
Yeah.
To the fridge and back, to the fridge and back, to the bathroom and back.
Coffee, kettle.
Yeah. And that's all I've done. Like, you know, you really have to be aware and take ownership.
Self-aware.
And, you know, I think it's a big one. So tell us about your meal service. Like, what's your point of difference?
So 3 things that we kind of come up with the catchphrase for, right? So big portions, big taste, and low calories.
Beautiful.
Like at the end of the day, like you go and you go to a meal prep. Grab my muscle shouldn't be shaming people, but it's things like that. Yeah. And you look at it and you're like, what is this? You know,
it's a snack.
It's a snack, or it's like,
it is small.
Where's the veggies? Like they talk about like being nutritious. I'm like, bro. It says this is in here, this is not in here.
The protein portions they say are so high, and they're like,
50 grams,
there's like a slither of chicken breast.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so bad, right?
And again, like, so for us, I'm like, you want to feel full after if you get one of these things. You want a good value for money. Like you're paying like $15-$16 for something that's not going to fill you up. You're going to be hungry after. And I think nutrition is such a big important thing. So I think with they're just meal prep companies. There's no like education behind it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how did you put these meals together? Whereas for me, having the nutrition education background and working with chefs to make it taste good, because like I'm not the best cook, you know. So he came in, he's like, I can fix this. I'm like, great, because we're going to
complement each other.
Exactly.
Cute. Yeah.
And so he'll come up with recipes, but I'm like, we've got to make this more calorie conscious. You know?
Good.
So it's been good to work together and to be able to have people that love the meals, are full afterwards, and that it's just like, people are like, I can have this when I'm dieting. I'm like, yep, you can have, because like our goal is for people to have 3 or 4 of them a day if they just want the meal prep stuff, and then it's still with under 2,200 calories, you know?
Yeah, wow.
Which people are like, I can't believe this. I'm like, it's, you know, it's simple. So
it tastes good
exactly,
too.
Exactly. And they're quite filling. Like for us, it's like, you know, having 2 servings of veggies in each meal when it comes to the lunches or dinners, making sure there's at least 35 grams of protein, things that just are beneficial for you overall. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
I actually read something the other day, and I don't know if this is in Australia. It might just be in America, but I think for Weight Watchers in America, Oprah is their like spokesperson.
Oh god.
And she's on.
Really?
Yeah.
She's on Ozempic.
She's on Ozempic.
Oh my.
So now Weight Watchers have incorporated Ozempic into.
Are you joking?
Some of, and you have the option of being able to get that if you want to.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how. I haven't researched.
Gone under here, or Jenny Craig went under. One of them's gone. Into
I don't know.
bust,
But yeah, it might just be America, and I haven't
That's
done further
crazy.
research on this. But I was reading like the comments of, you know, someone put a post up of Oprah, and I was reading all the comments like, oh, but isn't she a spokesperson for this? And then I was,
wow.
you know, I get into a hole.
The rabbit hole.
The
Yeah.
rabbit hole, and I was like, that is just so wild.
Yeah.
That is happening. Isn't that wild?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but people will buy into it.
Exactly.
People
Love
buy
Oprah.
it,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, sweet.
Honestly.
And
But
like
it takes away the purpose of having like I think a meal company and I know they have a lot of education and things that go, you know, it's quite a large company, but it takes away the purpose of all of those added benefits.
yeah, right.
And the knowledge and the education and the actually wanting to do the work to get the results.
And most of those meals won't even actually get eaten because people are going to have this Ozempic.
Yeah.
Or again, the meal's going to be so small.
Well, they'll
it's
make
gonna
money
work
off
for them.
that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't think of anything worse.
So like, you know, on that topic, like, you know, ever changing like body trends that are portrayed in the media. You know, have you seen like an evolution of like the goals that people come to you with?
Yeah. So like females, it's all about the booty now, right? Which is like, they're not about wanting to get skinny or lean. Like they obviously want to lose some weight, but it's about like creating shape, which I think is a great thing.
Yes.
You know, it's fucking awesome that they want to lift weights. There's no like, it just, I don't remember the last time a female said to me, I don't want to lift weights because I'm scared of getting bulky.
Yeah.
Whereas like that used to be the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back in fitness
Even
first.
a little dumbbell, like 2 kilo dumbbell, they were like, oh, I'm going to get big shoulders. I'm like, no, I'm not going to get big shoulders.
Like back in fitness first, when I was like a rake, you know, girls were like, oh, I don't want to get bulky. And I'm like, look at me. I've been trying. It ain't working. So don't stress. So I think that's a really good trend that's been happening. But I still think there's a lot of unrealistic expectations with how they think they need to look. You know, men and female. Like they think that at the end of the day, they have to have this amazing body and look at me. It's like, look, this is not your job. You know, you don't need to be it. And I think also people have unrealistic expectations of what it takes to get there. So helping them kind of reframe, it's like, do you really want to look like this? Or would you be more, would you be happier not looking exactly like this, having, let's say, 2 kilos extra that you wish you got rid of, but it allows you more flexibility in the lifestyle. Because I think people are chasing a lifestyle and how they want to feel in themselves versus exactly how they want to look, right? The unfortunate thing I think is trending, which I don't like, is how many people want to go up and do comp prep on stage.
Yeah.
That seems to be just getting more and more because obviously Instagram is an image
eating
platform.
disorder.
Yeah, right. It's an image platform. Everyone wants to get on there.
Because everyone's a coach now in that space.
Or they think that's what they have to do to kind of do something for themselves. Where it's like, oh, maybe I'll do this. And it's like, look, you can do a lot of other things that are going to be self-fulfilling that don't require you to step on stage, have people judge you for the way that you look physically, and starve yourself, you know?
I saw, and I sent it to you as well, one of the famous ones. She was really close to comp or stage, and she went out for dinner and she's like, this is my little treat. And it was like this much salmon and like a green leaf on the side.
Oh, lol.
And I was like, man, is this your life?
Yeah, right.
And I think what you're saying, people underestimate what it actually takes to look that lean, to look that ripped, to have that much aesthetic, like muscle and veins and all that stuff. Like, it's not easy.
Yep.
I know, like, when I was really after, like, a weight goal, I was chasing the feeling that I thought I would get from being that weight.
Yep.
Like, I thought I would get to that weight and I would immediately be confident and I would just be like this absolute babe.
Yeah.
Life's good. I've got all the things, because that's how it's portrayed.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's like these,
way.
you know, these influencers, and now I'm obviously more educated, and, you know, there's lots of surgeries and things happening that I wasn't aware of previously. And, you know, I was like, how do these people just look fucking bomb all the time, not realizing that there's a lot of other things that they've done that are maybe not what I thought.
Showcase.
It's not diet and exercise.
Yeah. Yep.
But I was chasing the feeling. That doesn't come, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it would. It's such a different, like, your whole life is changed.
Oh,
and
no,
your family's life, your
body
friends.
dysmorphia over here. You don't get confident when you get to 60 kilos or whatever it is, you know, like, but that's what people think.
I struggled more with body image at 58 kilos than I do now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
The amount of photos that I looked at when I was like 60, 65, whatever, and I was like, I'm fucking fat.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I look at those photos now and I was like, I have a bubble head.
Yeah, right?
The chop
and you're like, what was I thinking back then? Is what you think now? You're like,
but I was like, how could I survive?
Yeah.
Like, 800 calories, 900, like what, all the crazy.
Tuna and tea. After I trained, I would have tuna and tea. I'd spend 2 hours at the gym on the cardio equipment.
Yeah, and if it wasn't like at least, 1 or 2 hours, like it didn't count.
And you counted the calories on the machine because that was so accurate.
Yeah.
But yes.
yes,
100%. And or sometimes I would have a calorie goal. Like I had to go for, it was time or calories.
Yeah,
like I had to have a certain goal. But then I would have a certain amount of calories that I could only eat. And they're like.
After, so it could equal like, or. Be,
no, for like the day. And like, my calorie goal was like a snack now.
Yeah.
And right. And I'm like, how did I actually survive?
How did you live? How did you survive?
That's what I think. I'm like, how did I survive?
How did I survive?
Because like there's no chance in hell now I could even do like one day of like, because like before Christmas, I think it must have been when it was really bad, I fasted for 3 days straight.
Why?
Because I wanted to save some calories for Christmas, right?
Yeah. Wow.
You're like, why?
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
And now I'm like, if I don't have breakfast, I'm like, oh God, I'm stripping away.
Would you have water?
Just water,
like a water
tea,
fast?
and black coffee.
Okay,
yeah. And it was, I'm just thinking back now, I'm like, how did I get through 3 days?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I would have the brain fog would be insane.
I mean, we've been filming for nearly 3 hours this morning.
I know. I'm I was like, shit. But I couldn't think, you know how people say, I forgot to eat? I'm like, girl, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I do sometimes do that. I'm not going to lie.
No, man. My stomach would,
I do
me.
sometimes.
I got like an alert. I'm like, oh, food? Yeah, okay, I need it.
You have an alert. I guess that,
my stomach's my alert.
That's what I'm saying. Like my body's my alert. Like there's not like, I forgot to eat. It's like my stomach is like,
3 days.
Yeah.
Did you train during the 3 days?
No, I did nothing. I went back up to Townsville to see my family for Christmas, and I basically just like would go for walks, watch TV on the couch. I actually wanted how I passed the time more than anything.
Yeah.
Because if you got brain fog, you can't do work.
No,
like, you can't do
can't.
anything. So I'm like, I think I just watched all the Harry Potters. There's like 7 of them.
Did you sleep in and out of sleep?
Yeah, I was like napping and stuff during the day.
Wow.
And then of course on Christmas Day I binged until I was like sick and like my stomach was in pain.
Tyson.
And I'm like,
you were like the one thing you're not supposed to do is teach your client.
And that's what like I'm glad I did all that because I talked to people and like, oh, it sounds like you described me. I'm like, yeah, because it was me, So just like, and then I know the thoughts people have. I'm like, don't do this.
That's good. You can speak to them firsthand.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Nah, I couldn't think of anything worse.
I think that firsthand knowledge is so valuable when it comes to dealing with clients. Like, I went through some shit. But I mean, there was not anywhere near the amount of online resources and education that there is now. I mean, don't get me wrong. People still don't acknowledge it, like, read them and look at that. But I feel like that firsthand experience has really shaped me as a coach and how I'm able to help people. So whilst it was shit and I can't believe I did it and I don't know how I survived, I'm able to like help people via that.
You're relatable, You know what they went through. I think also with that, like, you know how to coach people. Like these people online who are the comp preppers and stuff like that, they're trying to like make everyone do what they did. And it's like you're telling a mum of 3 kids again that she's got to train fasted cardio at 5 a.m. and then have to get to the gym twice a day or whatever it is. And it's like you got to coach. Like, this is unfortunately where there's a bit of a mismatch. Like, these people are so in their lifestyle, they do this specific thing and they think everyone else can do it, where it's like, hey, like, these people have actual jobs, they have children, they have pets, they're not just a fitfluencer. Yeah. So it's, again, goes back to when you're going to look for a coach, make sure these people are able to relate to you too. Because people come to you because you're relatable, same thing as you, same thing as me. Yeah. They're like, oh, they get me, they can understand it.
Yeah.
And I think for coaches out there, it's, the evolution of change as well. Because I know when I started coaching, everyone did what I knew.
Yep.
Or what I've done, which is not how I coach now at all. And, I think you change and you evolve based off, learnings and experiences. But at the beginning for myself, it was definitely like clean eating. It was like, all the things.
And the definition of clean is so different to what it is now.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
You can't drink water from a tap, right? Now it has to be.
Oh my God.
I haven't heard this one.
There's fluoride in the water, so you have to drink it from like your filter and stuff like that.
Literally, my bottle of water out there.
Tap water.
I literally just say to people like things like that, right? Getting the clean eating going to the extreme, and it's like you'll smash bags on the weekend, but then Monday to Friday your body's a temple,
Yeah, but bags are low calorie.
Yeah, no calorie. But it's funny
because
what
market bullshit. You're from the hood.
Actually, no.
She probably deals it. She's from the hood.
Take it high in your own supply, right? But like people will. This is the hard thing because there's so many. You'll see these influencers again talking about like, oh, don't have your sugar-free drinks because give you cancer. But it's like, again, you're the person doing like the jack. You got steroids from a bathtub that's been created that you'll inject in yourself, but the sugar-free stuff is what you'll stay away from. Or again, the fluoride in the water. It's like, we got bigger things to focus on, you know?
Yeah. But nothing is true.
It's
like
so bad.
Nothing is truly clean. Like really, like the
Even
soil
organic
is, the
stuff
soil
is
is
sprayed with
fucked.
something.
Like exactly. Like nothing is truly truly clean. I believe so. Like you're wasting a lot of energy trying to follow something that's not true. Like do what you can.
Yeah.
But don't get crazy.
Exactly.
And organic's expensive as fuck.
Organic, yeah.
And it's like, do you want like if someone needs to lose weight, if they're obese, the best thing they can do is not to focus on whether they're going to be having fluoride in their water or like again sugar-free. It's like you need to lose weight so you're actually going to increase your longevity, not die of diabetes or like cardiovascular disease. Don't get people so scared about certain things like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat this way. It's like, no, you don't need to worry about any of that. You just need to worry about trying to move more and eating a little bit better than you are now.
But I think a lot of coaches and businesses and companies, they do focus on those small things and they make you kind of get a little, like I went through a phase where it was like superfoods.
Yeah.
I had to get certain superfoods.
But what are they? What are superfoods?
Great question. What are superfoods, right? Yeah. They're just like nutrient-dense foods, which is basically any vegetable or fruit which are nutrient-dense. But for some reason, they'll pick a food. Remember acai was like the thing?
I was just about to say acai.
Chia seeds, like quinoa.
Do you remember goji berries?
Goji berries. Goji berries.
Goji berries taste good. My mum
they
used to eat them. They were lit, man. They're so good. But like, it's like,
I used to have them in my smoothie.
Okay.
And then it was kale. Kale.
Yeah. Never had that in my smoothie.
Kale smoothies.
They're just like it's like just eat your veggies and your fruit basically. Like they're your superfoods.
Wow.
And this goes back to like supplementing. People ask me like should you take a multivitamin? And it's like look, if you want to cover your bases, it's a cheap thing to do to have a multivitamin. But like don't use that as a replacement for trying to eat some fruit and veggies, right? But I would just say like if you want like a nutrient dense diet, it comes down to getting 3 to 5 servings of veggies in and 1 to 3 servings of fruit in, which isn't a lot when you look at it.
No.
It's pretty easy to add in, you know?
Do you think people these days are still going down that route of like replacing like meals with supplements? Or, what are the supplement shakes or whatever they are?
I like the green shakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the meal replacement shakes?
The meal replacement shakes.
Right. Oh my God.
I did that. I went down. I went on that.
I love Cranked. Do you know the Cranked? I love those. They're delicious. But that's like
they're not a meal replacement. That's just a protein shake.
Yeah, protein shake. But it's a good thing to have. Which I say to people, like, don't buy. What's that? The one that Kim Kardashian did, Celebrity Slim.
Oh, or there's like the man shake and the woman shake.
Oh,
now.
My parents do that
too.
Yeah. My mum like last year messaged me. She's like, "Oh, I'm doing was it Isogenics or whatever?"
Oh yeah, and I've been down the Isogenics path.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm like, do you know what your son does?
Yeah, Herbalife.
Yeah. Again, it's quick. People are like, "Oh, I just do this," and I'm like, "You just want to drink a shake every day."
Yeah, boring.
Yeah, boring.
It is.
Yeah,
boring.
no, my parents do it for breakfast, and I'm like, "But you eat like fucking pigeons. Maybe you shouldn't have the 10 beers."
Yeah.
On the weekend.
No, it's not that. It's not the unhealthy junk food. It's not the 10 beers.
No, it's not the 10 beers on a Friday night. It's the man shake that you're not having for breakfast.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? I do believe that if it's getting you started to help you cut down on your calories, maybe you can have it as a 1 meal replacement, but not the whole. Yeah, it's because it's so structured. 2 shakes, 2 bars, pills, and all that.
It doesn't teach you anything about nutrition.
I know.
I think like again, if it gets you started, okay, cool. But like. You also have to ask yourself, am I going to be able to do this in 2 years' time? You're just going to fucking drink shake and they go, nah.
I've tried it.
Yeah, right. And the same thing, people go, oh, keto works great for me. I'm like, okay, so then what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I couldn't eat like that way forever. I'm like, exactly, you know? And it's not to say like you should be dieting forever, like, but you have to be able to think about, I can eat this. Like for me, when I'm dieting, it's just reducing my portions of what I usually have. And instead of going out for takeaway once or twice a week, maybe it's like once or twice a fortnight. Just little things, but it's not changing my overall lifestyle where I'm overhauling what I'm eating and I'm changing everything else. And that's why it's easy to sub things in and out.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, you know what your bases are, you know what your foundations are, and then it's easy to either reduce portions or, again, just say no to those extra drinks that you'll have on the weekend, little things like that versus having to completely cut out and be like, yep, no carbs for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that before. I went carb-free, like fat-free fun free.
Oh yeah,
You know,
fun,
life free,
The
life
bowl of ice that you would just have, frozen water,
experience free, friend free.
Yeah.
Like it was, all
you
of
miss
those
out.
things.
You do. You miss out on a lot of experiences.
A lot of things. And going out and watching people eat is not nearly as exciting as hoeing into that
Can
food.
I just smell your food? Yeah, great. Yes.
So, what are some dieting trends that you're seeing at the moment?
That I'm seeing at the moment, dieting trends.
Well, maybe you're not even taking notice of them.
Well,
really.
I think it's like nothing really new has come out. It's still, I guess carnivore is still kind of being pushed so much, which is like, it's really.
Liver
King. Yeah.
You're going to be Liver King?
I'm going to try, we'll see how we go. No, I'm never. So funnily enough, I eat liver anyways,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, but if you're out there eating raw testicles, I'm going to have to unfollow you.
Yeah.
He's saying his testicles are better than vegetables. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
So carnivore is still being pushed quite a lot. And it's like this, people are going opposite fiber. Like, oh, you don't need fiber. I'm like, pretty sure your stomach is going to tell you need fiber,
But what's carnivore? Like carnivore is just eating meat, red meat?
Red meat. And
all
white meat.
The time.
Like that's all it is. So no veggies.
That's
no
so
fruit.
bad.
Right.
I love vegetables.
But people are like, it's just another trend that's coming out at the moment. So that's happening. Everyone's still obviously going through keto. Intermittent fasting is kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, I feel like it is too.
More people asking about intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And again, like if you want to skip breakfast, it's sweet. But I also notice a lot of people, when I start, especially people that have had eating disorders or anything in the past, they have to eat breakfast because what they're used to is skipping food all day, binging at night time.
Yeah.
Because they'll also be the people that will go and exercise. They'll have like 20,000 steps a day. They'll lose so much. And the body's basically like, all right, I need food now. And it causes people to overeat. So if you're someone that has that, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're someone who isn't hungry in the morning, which blows me away. I don't know if you know.
Same. I don't know how people do it.
If it's working for you, it works. But it's not the answer either. Like I can intermittent fast and still eat 3,000 calories at the end of the day. And then I'm no longer in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
And what's your views on like intuitive eating?
I think a lot of people don't know what intuitive eating is. They think they're going to do it. And it's like, you just eat. Like if there's food in front of you, you just eat, right?
Because you think it's intuition.
Or again, you're like, oh yeah, sweet, I want one of these. And it's like, are you actually paying attention? Yeah. So I teach clients to pay attention to their hunger, right? Are you hungry before you eat, like on a scale of 1 to 10? And then after you finish eating, on a scale of 1 to 10, how full are you? Like that's what I would say start with first, because that's how you start to pay attention. But if you're someone who's used to eating, if you haven't followed a diet before and you're kind of just eating whatever, then your body's not going to be in tune with what it wants. And if you're eating high calorie, low dense foods, then you're going to be hungry after a meal anyways. So I think a lot of people don't have the intuition to be able to pay attention to intuitive eating. Yeah,
I think you need to have a foundation of education.
The education.
Like I think people go, oh, I'm aware of what I'm eating. I'm like, but are you?
Yeah.
Like, do you actually know how many calories is in that? Like, do you know how big 100 grams is? Like, I think you need to have like a certain level of tracking experience and weighing things and experience with that before you can intuitively eat.
Another thing I think I've seen the rise of is raw food, like the raw food diet where they have like those protein, they like homemade protein balls or something, but it's made of like dates and nuts and all that sort of thing. I'm like, they're so high in calorie. So fatty and everything, and people are like, oh, I'm just having a raw food bar.
It's raw, but it's okay because it's raw.
Yeah, but it's like, no, it's actually so bad for you. Like, so that's something that I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, you have to be open to educating yourself. Like you can't just go, oh, I'm eating, it's like natural, so it's fine.
Handfuls of nuts.
Yeah.
I think that, education is key, but also it's like the people who talk about raw food or talk about intuitive eating, it's like they've gone down the path of dieting, of learning. Like, they're always like, people of influence who are saying this, like, oh, I just do intuitive eating. I teach my clients that. Like, your clients have no idea, like, what intuitive eating is, You can ask them, are you hungry? They're like, oh, I don't know. Like, so you don't even know what hunger feels like. Right? Just like things like that.
I talk about intuitive eating as like, depending on the person, but the end goal.
Yeah.
Like, and the end goal could be 3 or 4 years ago. Like the end goal is not in 12 weeks. Like you have to do a lot of learning. Like now to get to that goal. Like I would say majority of the time for myself, I would intuitively eat. But I'm not going for an aesthetic goal. Like I don't have a specific goal, but this is intuitive eating after tracking for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I can eyeball 100 grams.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like I can pretty comfortably do that. I'm also fine with going out and eating a burger and not feeling bad about that. 5 years ago, that was not the case.
100%.
So I didn't feel that I could intuitively eat until I got to the point where I was, comfortable, going and, breaking my diet, you know what I mean? And being able to actually eyeball things and all of that sort of stuff. And it takes a long fucking time.
And intuitive eating is, like I said, when you don't have a goal. It's just your way of life, right? When you're dieting, intuitive eating doesn't work because you're hungry when you're dieting, The same thing is even with tracking. Like I will always get, unless my client is like, I do not want to track because it causes them anxiety or anything, it helps them build awareness. Like you said, paying attention, because I say when you weigh something, look at what that looks like because then you can start to perceive what 100 grams of chicken looks like compared to 20 grams of peanut butter. And then I tell them to start guesstimating. So guess before you put it on the scale, because then that's teaching them skills about, again, how to, in a way, intuitive eat, but just how to guesstimate, to look at a plate and be like, oh, maybe this is a bit too much on my plate, So I think awareness is the most important thing you have to have first. And it's a skill that is developed.
And knowing when to rein it in. Like there are times, and it's usually after big events. Like, if I go on holidays with my best friend, I know I'm going to be probably drinking most days or, whatever. Like knowing when to rein it in and go, okay, well, I'm back from that period in my life. I'm going to be tracking for the next couple of months just so I can really make sure that my diet's on track because I've gone a bit over,
But it takes experience to go be able to do that. And do it for yourself and not have to go to someone to do that as well.
Yeah, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
So I guess what would you say to, anyone that wants to embark on like a weight loss journey? And I hate talking about New Year's resolutions and, New Year, New Me. I hate talking about that because I don't think there's a such thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's still very prevalent out there. Like, what do you say to those people that want to embark on that change?
You're not going to change your life in one day, right? You don't go from December 31st to January 1st and be like, well, I'm a new person.
Yeah, right.
It's like to change, you've got to change. You've got to do you've got to make changes ideally, but it has to be small. Like I just keep repeating it to people, like just aim smaller than what you think you need to do. Because everyone, again, wants to set their things so high, these expectations where it's like, this isn't even meeting your reality with where you're at. And people forget, like they have lives. Like, oh, so you want to go to the gym 5 days a week, but you work until 6 p.m. every day. And then if you go to the gym then, it's going to be packed anyway. It's like, do you like to be around these people, And also, like I would say, find an activity you actually enjoy doing. Like people give shit to CrossFit, to F45. And I'm like, hey, if you enjoy going there, getting a sweat on, and it's you're going to show up and exercise, fucking go and do it, Go play a sport. If you like a team sport. Like I forgot that I am extroverted and that I like to train with people and exercise. So with me, like I've joined Muay Thai. I get to talk to people. It's more fun. I'd like to go and do a sport again because it's like, that's actually, I'll rock up there because I get to talk to people and because you're also getting a workout. So if you are someone who is more extroverted, find something that's going to involve you, which could be CrossFit or F45. And if you don't like weight training, that's fine. If you like Pilates, go do Pilates. Like just find what's going to be enjoyable. Because again, this is something you're going to have for the rest of your life.
Yeah. We were just saying that before, like, our goals have changed where like I've taken up running again and I'm really enjoying it. And
I'm the opposite.
Like, because I started running, like I stopped looking at obviously putting the pressure on trying to get weight sessions in or going to do like the 60-minute, 90-minute workouts and stuff. And because it's short and sharp, like I've had like, a weight loss happen at the same time because I've taken the pressure off the weights and stuff. So it's not necessarily about what other people are doing. Find what works for you. And you know what your body responds to as well. So I think that's really important too. Is you know yourself best. Go to someone for guidance, but always go back to what you know has worked for you in the past.
100%.
Stick to the basics.
Honestly. And don't be afraid to change as well. Like I think, was it maybe last year or the year before, I went through a thing where I was running a lot and I was like, actually, this is not for me.
Yeah, you could go back.
No, I won't be doing that again.
I love it. I love to tune out. Like, and I love that sweat and the heart rate going. And you're like, that pump. It's really good.
No.
And I also, when I'm running, I'm like, how would I fight someone that try to attack me when I'm running?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go through scenarios. Anyway.
To the arm. She's looking at people as she runs past. She's like, I would beat you. Don't worry about it.
Uppercut to the
Because I always think, because at nighttime,
throat jab.
I can only run when it's getting towards nighttime. When my whole household routine's finished. So it's getting dark and I'm like, I'm on the Cooks River.
Yeah.
So there's parts where there's no lights and I'm like, if someone was to attack me from behind, what do I do? It's like the elbow and then But anyway, moving on to the next thing. So we know you.
So
love
we just had a conversation
review.
about violence. So now we're going to do a food review.
I love that you mentally think about that as you're running. You're like, oh,
I
yeah,
do.
I'd fuck this
And then
person.
if a Tupac song comes on, it's all over.
Now I wish someone did
right.
it right
Now
now.
I
This
just
song,
want
I
yeah.
it.
guess we can
happen.
also say that you'd be the only one of us three to survive in a zombie apocalypse, though.
You said I wouldn't. You said you would, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd be able to cut a bitch, but you'd be able to run faster.
If I had like an assault bike, maybe I'd do it.
Okay, so we got some stuff.
All right, sweet.
Now I did bring a little yogurt thingy, but I don't have a spoon for you.
What is it called? Yogurt oats?
Yogurt
oats.
Yogurt oats.
Yogurt oats.
Fuller for longer, natural brekkie. 9 grams of protein.
Oh, actually, really? It's surprising.
He's like, I'm going to do a review on this
Yes.
on my own
Yeah.
story.
That looks all right.
Yeah.
We
What
don't have a
else have you
spoon?
We don't have a spoon. Look, I know you're pretty bogan with the mullet.
Yeah. We'll just give it a taste test, shall we?
We're going to get a zoom in on
The mullet.
Do you have to shake it or anything?
Shake a yogurt? I hope not.
This is going to be the hardest.
You know, sometimes it sprays.
How are you opening your yogurts?
I don't know. Great
He's
question.
having issues.
This is definitely child-proof. Maybe do you want to open this for me?
Well, like, do a swapsies while you open it.
What?
Do another one while you open
No,
it.
that's all right. I have children.
See?
I have children.
Yeah. I'm a child, so that just makes sense.
It kind of tastes like
It looks like-
it does taste like
cinnamony.
yes, it does. Actually.
Cinnamony.
Cinnamony?
Apple and cinnamon.
Oh, yeah.
Smells
wow, that is
good,
proper
eh?
cinnamon. And it's got chia seeds in it. I'm just going to do a finger dump, all
Do
right?
it.
Go
Do
for
whatever
it.
you got to do, man.
That's too much cinnamon for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Okay.
Like, it's edible, but...
Maybe if you mixed it with your finger and then do
Yeah,
it.
true. We're doing it. This is definitely going back to Queensland. No, it's tilted.
Nah? Okay. All right.
I love that you tried again, though.
Yeah, that was
I really
really-
appreciate
I'm
it.
committed to it.
Dedicated.
I'm
Yeah,
committed
that's what I
to
mean.
food.
Committed.
Now, imagine if I was fasting and I couldn't have this. Oh.
I know, upsetting.
You're not fasting
Oh,
today.
I've never seen these before.
I don't know if you've had this before. Dark chocolate raspberry tart.
No,
Tim Tam.
definitely tried it.
Okay.
Oh,
I reckon we
wow.
should all
I've never
try it.
even
Wanna try it?
seen that. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like Tim Tams and Kit Kat,
Oh, the
they've
fucking
just like
smell.
all the different
It
flavours.
smells like a cherry ripe.
Oh, yeah. I love cherry ripe.
I think
Same.
it would be like that. I think it's got gooey insides.
Kit
Shut
Kat
the
and
front
Tim
door.
Tam have just
You,
like...
you guys are welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
flavours.
I bring
Thank
the
you, thank
snacks.
you, yes.
Yeah. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Happy New Year.
Nearly went straight in for it. Oh, wow.
That's pretty good.
Imagine that with a coffee, like dunk.
You guys have done Tim Tam Slam? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Is that where you like suck the milk through the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't drink milk.
Oh, it was
Really?
like jam in there.
Yeah.
See, I don't like jam either.
Really?
No, but that.
I don't
I'd
like
probably give this
anything.
like...
Yeah.
I'll give it a
me-
9 out of 10.
A 9
Yeah,
out of
I'd say
10.
nine. I would eat
Wow.
that whole packet.
Wow.
All right, well, you can have the packet.
Yep.
Yeah, you can have the packet. I don't know. It's very strong.
You having issues
What's
there,
that?
darling?
I wanted to read what that was.
Tell me massive sweet tooth, eh?
Me too. There's more.
But then I also love cheese.
Oh, I love cheese. A cheese board any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So in Townsville, we don't have cheese boards, right? You just don't sort of think.
What do you have?
I don't know. Well, steak and veggies, basically.
Yeah.
So when I came down and everyone's doing cheese boards, I was like, all right, what's all this about? Because like I've only had like, the Woolworths mozzarella cheese and stuff like that. I was like, this is a game changer.
So sweet.
I love cheese boards.
Have you had a cob loaf?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's what we would have. We'd have cob loaf, yeah.
Oh, so yeah,
I love
yeah,
cob
we used to do that.
All right, next one.
But
Arrow.
can I just say on the topic of cheese boards, so I fucking love a cheese board.
Yeah.
Like I'll go hard. And my dad makes fun of me because he's like, why don't you just, because I'll just like hover over the like cheese board.
Put a
Yeah.
plate and take
You
it.
know, I'll be talking to someone, but I'll just be like,
Yep.
these ones. And he goes, why don't you just pick up a whole wheel of cheese? And I'm like, no, it's about the other condiments that you're having with the
Yeah.
cheese. And
You
he
gotta
just makes
pair
fun
it.
of me.
It's an art, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And you have to have different things with different cheeses.
Have you been to the Stinky Bishops?
Yes.
Holy.
Yeah.
That is a great place.
Yeah, there's also one in the city. Is it near the old Claire Hotel? What's that place called? Spice Alley.
Oh, Spice Alley. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's one in there, and they do like a wine and cheese and meat
Oh,
pairing.
yep.
And either you can choose what you want, or they'll choose it based on the wine, and you'll get like a board of different wines.
Oh, nice.
And they'll pair the cheeses.
That's great.
I need to do that.
Which is like my fucking dream.
Yeah. This is how you know you're getting older and sophisticated. You know?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. It's, when we were young, it's, how much alcohol can we sneak into a festival?
Yeah.
Now it's how much cheese.
Now it's what are my paired cheeses?
Yeah. See, I was never a wine drinker.
I can't.
No?
Oh, no. I hate orange chocolate.
Okay. I'm not a big fan, but I'll give
And
it a
it
go.
says, know your portions, 1 row.
That was like, see what I posted up the other day where it's like a scientist says 4 fries is a serving size.
Oh, I saw that on the
I
news.
don't need this negativity in my life right
No,
now.
I take that as one dunk.
Yeah, right.
Into a sauce.
4 fries.
Lol.
Bro. And if there's 4 fries on my plate, they're gone. They're not staying there.
Absolutely. No
You're
way.
not trying this?
No, I don't like orange chocolate. I can't do
it.
No, I don't have a tissue if I need to spit it.
Thank you.
All right, I'll do it.
I'll try.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
This one.
Just
Oh my
swallow
God, it doesn't even look nice. Look at that.
No. That tastes like hand soap.
Oh, well, you're really selling it to me.
Please taste it. You got to let me know.
Okay. It tastes like hands.
I literally feel like it tastes like hand soap.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
Oh no, darling. Oh no. That's a
I feel like I just cleaned my mouth.
No?
That's a -5 out of 10.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. She's gonna go home and eat the block. I can see.
I don't know what it tastes. I don't know what it tastes like.
I don't like. It does taste like a Jaffa.
Yeah,
But
Jaffa.
I don't like Jaffas.
I don't reckon.
Jaffas are the things that you used to throw at people in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
That's the only
Cookies and
purpose of the
cream.
Jaffa.
50% less sugar. So this is a new healthy thing apparently.
Okay.
50% less.
New
So what is it
guilt-free
replaced
way
with,
to
though?
enjoy chocolate with 50% less sugar.
There's sugar,
xylitol.
alcohols in it.
Am I gonna
It's
shit my
replaced
pants?
it. Yeah. I've got to ride on the
It's
bike on
got
the way home. I need to make sure this is safe.
What's that thing that is usually in it? Starts with L.
Xylitol.
Yeah, that doesn't have that.
Does it have xylitol, maltitol, anything with OL?
Something. It's usually a toll. Something toll.
Nah.
Stevia then?
Polydextrose?
Yeah, that's it.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that a fake sugar?
Glucose syrup raising agent. No.
I've never even heard of this brand.
Yeah, well, okay, so what
So
happened?
when it says 50% less sugar, how much sugar is actually in it though?
6.2 grams
Per how many?
so 4 squares.
That is pretty low.
It is carbohydrates, 6.4. So it's pretty decent. Okay, so what happens? A bit melted. So I bought roast chicken for my kids and I put it on top of it and it melted. So
Oh, babe.
sorry.
Oh, I was like, you bought roast chicken to put in the chocolate. How interesting. I'll tell you what, some of the
She's
best.
from
Black
the
people
hood.
thing. It's a black people thing.
It's an Indian thing.
Curry in a hurry, mate.
When I was in Italy, the chocolate stuff they had in there, oh my God, it was so
Oh,
good.
it's off the chain.
Yeah.
I feel like Europe in general though, off the chain.
I see, I like Middle East. Middle East was amazing.
Or no, have you been to a 7-Eleven in Asia?
You can taste it. There's fake bullshit in there.
That's so bad.
A 7-Eleven in Asia?
Oh,
In
that's
Thailand,
so
I've been to
bad.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
With what, the microwavable stuff you can get? That is
Tastes
not.
like nothing.
Yeah.
No.
It just tastes like artificial.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Almost has like a licorice aftertaste.
Yes, that is disgusting.
So if you guys take away anything from the food test we've had, the real food, the Tim Tams, is the only thing that tastes good out of that.
And don't let Sandra buy your snack.
That is fucked up, bro. That is so bad.
What are your snacks? What do you get for your snacks?
Like properly?
Yeah, what would you eat as a snack? That's like an enjoyable snack.
Oh, that's so bad. That aftertaste. Wow.
I'm going to sneak one more.
If I was to have a pig out, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That sort of snack?
What's a treat? What's a treat you like?
Just dairy milk. Any sort of chocolate.
Yeah, I just like your classic.
I love Greek biscuits. So my husband's Greek Lebanese, so we get Greek biscuits, Lebanese sweets like baklava or
my God, I love
the lady
baklava,
fingers with the syrup.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my God, anything like that. That's worth it to me.
Yeah.
That's I will save my calories to have that.
Yeah, nice.
It's worth it. With a coffee, fucking shut the gates.
Shut the gates of the coffee.
Yeah. That's a good, that's where it hits my soul.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is good. On Christmas, we had someone made a dessert box for my sister-in-law and it was they had these rice bubble, Mars bar slice.
Ooh.
Oh, it was so good. Rocky Road, a good Rocky Road.
Yeah, my mum makes it for Christmas. The
Oh,
bomb.
my friend made one with wagon wheel pieces. I tagged her in it and she actually made it for me for
Yum.
Christmas. It was so
Oh
good.
my
Yum.
gosh. My mum does this for Christmas. It's a chocolate tart, but it's a Nigella Lawson
Oh, Nigella. She's good.
recipe. So you just think about how low calorie it's going to be. But it's like the best thing ever, and she makes it every Christmas. But I live by myself, so I'm not really inclined to go out and buy I'm not like a biscuit person. Like I'm more of like a savory sort of person. So I'm like a big chip girl. I'll have like a little bit of chocolate like in my cupboard occasionally, but yeah, I'm a big chip girl, or I'm like a crackers and hummus girl. Like I'm that sort of. Hummus. I'd eat a whole container.
Yeah, right.
Like, bad.
What about have you had the flavored hummus, like the sriracha?
Yes, that's my favorite one. It's my favorite one. I get it every time I go to Ali. I have to. I have at least 2 in my fridge at all times.
Hummus is
I'm simple though. Like I'll literally put like a slice of bread in the toaster and just have butter on it. Like
peanut butter.
But like when I say butter, it's like butter.
Yeah. But how good, like just butter on toast in itself. Yeah. I'm like, why did I not have this for so long in my life?
It's the best thing ever. Yeah. Like everyone's like, do you want jam or something? And I'm like, no, butter. Like just a mound.
Yeah.
Oh, sourdough, yum.
Yeah. And my mum has been diagnosed with she's celiac now and has been for maybe the last 5 years. And she's like, you should really go get tested because it can be genetic. And I was like, if I fucking can't eat sourdough because of you, upset.
Did she become a celiac?
Yeah, so time? It's like when she hit menopause.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
That's like an autoimmune issue.
Okay,
yeah.
Mind blown. My friend is allergic to peanuts. She's pregnant and the doctor, she's now can eat peanuts.
Yeah.
Isn't it
really?
nuts? She's pregnant and she's like, she ate a whole jar of peanut butter because she's like, I'm fucking eating this.
Fucking get in there, girlfriend.
Yeah. But she's allergic. And the doctor said when you give birth, there's 50% chance that you may become allergic again.
A 50% chance? I'll just keep having babies in the back. I need the peanut butter.
I just keep getting knocked up.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Give me those nuts.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not speaking metaphorically.
Amazing. All right, finally, let's do a little plug of your meal prep company.
Yes.
What's it called? Where can people find it?
So it's called Made by Mac Meals, MAC for Mac. You can find it on Instagram. You can go on the website, madebymac.com. And we sell out of Arncliffe. So we do delivery or we can do pickup. So every week they can come pick it up or do delivery. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for joining us again. We had the best time. I'm never going to try that orange chocolate ever again. We're going to pop all of Tyson's links below so you know where to find him, where to find his meal prep company, and we hope to see you soon.
Cheers.